family, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis, as well as the latest from Adam Back and his $100,000 Bitcoin price prediction by March 31st, 2024. Also, breaking news, SafeMoon falls 31% in 5 hours after filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Another one bites the dust. Also in today's show, I'll be sharing the latest with the Ledger hack. And so you'll want to pay close attention to this, especially if you're using the Ledger wallet right now. We'll also be discussing First Trust files for a Bitcoin Buffer ETF with the SEC. Also, BlackRock met with the SEC yesterday. Yet again, I think that's like the 4th time in the past couple of weeks. It's getting lit. ETF around the corner. We'll also be discussing Gensler hints that the Grayscale ruling forced the SEC to take a new look at the Bitcoin ETFs. So kudos to Grayscale. Also in today's show, we'll be discussing Arthur Hayes doubles down on his $1 million Bitcoin price prediction following the shift in the U.S. macroeconomic landscape. Also, breaking news, the world's largest oil company, Saudi Aramco, partners with SBI Holdings to potentially invest in digital assets. Max Keiser just responded to this minutes ago. What I heard 9 months ago and reported on is happening. Aramco is doing a Michael Saylor and putting billions of dollars into Bitcoin. FOMO is real. Max also shares that the countries that have no Bitcoin on their books will die. Russia, China, Israel, for example, are heading to the shitter. El Salvador is rising. The USA has Bitcoin, but they have loaned them out and will lose them to Michael Saylor. We'll also be discussing the $100,000 God candle, which we renamed the Keiser candle, and we'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Welcome, family, just joining us. Let me know if the stream is loud, clear, and smooth. First and foremost, shout out to Cherry Young. Good to see ya. Stress-free VIP. Welcome to the crypto roller coaster ride of your life. That's right. Keith Hunt in the building. We got relaxing and meditation music. Good to see you, Barack. We got John Matrix. Good morning to you as well, family. We have DC is in the building. Good to note. Daniel Cormier, the legend, is in the house. Welcome to everyone just tuning in and joining us. Today we went live early. Tomorrow we'll be back with our normal scheduled time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern. But today and yesterday we had to go live at 11 a.m. So I appreciate you joining me here in the morning. What up, Nate? The Keiser candle, baby. Go Bitcoin. Go Bitcoin miners. Amen. Massive shout out to Digital Dankness. Glad to hear the mic check is working. Shout out to the rest of our moderators as well. Streamlabs, Maximus, Coinfather, and the rest of the crew. Shout out Earl Harris. Good to see you, family. Jay Ivy, pump it up, JV. You already know once the stream goes live, we always pump. It's just the way it is here. Live from Minnesota. Right on, Bonk. I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for supporting the pod. Rachel says clear. Good to note. Happy to hear that. I rebooted my computer and my internet before I streamed today to make sure of it. Silver, appreciate you tuning in as well. Good morning, family. Vernon Hall, good morning to all. Appreciate you guys. Anyways, we have a jam-packed show. Lots of news to share. So let's kick it off, shall we? If you're new to the channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Also, be sure to smash the like and hit the bell icon to turn on all notifications, as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm, and I greatly appreciate that, fam. Today is pod episode number 1492. I'm your host, JV, and today is December 15th, 2023, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. The weekend is amongst us. Let's freaking go. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. We can see Bitcoin correcting, pulled back some. We tapped 43, then corrected. Now we're back down to just under 42, down 1.2% on the daily. We have Ether also correcting, down almost 2%, but still maintaining above 2,200. Solana and AVAX are in the green for the day. And if we zoom out and check out the weekly, as you can see here, Bitcoin is down 3% now on the week. Ether is down 5%. And the big gainers are AVAX and Cardano. And zoom Zooming out on the monthly, that takes us all back in the green, with Bitcoin up 18% on the month, still up roughly, 160% on the year? Not so shabby. We have Ether up almost 13%, Solana up 76%, and AVAX, the big gainer, up 135% on the month. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the crypto market cap is pumping once again. We're sitting at 1.61 trillion, with just shy of 70 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. The Bitcoin dominance taking a step pullback just a little bit, 0.1%. It's up trading or at 51.8% right now. We have the Ether dominance also below 17% at 16.9%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, Bonk does it again. The decentralized meme coin on the Solana blockchain is up another 94% on the day. Good Lord. We also have Helium up 24% and ICP up 16.5%. Below that, we have decentralized protocol Aave, and then Arweave, followed by Osmosis. Now, which altcoins are you most bullish on for this bull run? Please do let me know in the comments right down below, and checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective of the overall market. Clearly, Bonk killing the game for the day. Also, as I mentioned, HNT and ICP are the rest of the top gainers, and the majority of the alts are actually also in the red, along with Bitcoin. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. Today, we're rated a 70, which is greed. Yesterday, a 72. Last week, a 72. And last month, a 60 in greed. So there you have it. My crypto fam, how do you feel? December is likely to treat us. We're halfway through the month. We're we got a week and a half until Christmas. We have ETF approval likelihood around the corner, the deadline being the window between January 5th to January 10th. And then we have a big, massive 2024 Bitcoin halving scheduled to take place in April. So let me know your guys' thoughts. There'll be a lot more millionaires in 2024. Amen, dirty. There are going to be a lot of Bitcoin and crypto millionaires being birthed. That's a given. There's going to be billionaires birthed as well. 100%. Yes, let's go. The market cap is only in the millions. Not great. Are you referring to Bonk or Bombus? Because it looks like you wrote Bombus. So I'm not sure if we're talking about the same token there, family. But either way, yeah, you got to be careful. A lot of these meme coins, the overall market cap is small, so they can be manipulated very easily. So be careful out there. Solana, Cardano, and AVAX, says Jack. These are the coins you're bullish on. Good to note. Bonk is bullish on Bonk. Go figure. Congratulations, fam. You're up almost 100% on the day. Not too shabby. Earl Harris is bullish on AVAX and Solana or Solano. Soprano? Shout out to Tony Soprano. Rest in peace, big dog. I know James Gandolfini died of a heart attack actually a long time ago. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. I am late. What it do, JV? Welcome, Tony. My pop's name, who also passed, rest in peace. His name is Tony. Bonk gone bonkers. Yeah, it does seem to be this. Is that what it stands for? Is it just short for bonkers? I'm curious. Yeah, let me know. So yeah, welcome, Brian. I appreciate you tuning in live. Good morning, Crypto Surge. Thanks for tuning in to the #1 daily pod. I appreciate that. My alts are only there to make me more Bitcoin faster. Well, the key is going to be, Christopher, to trading those alts at the right time and not holding on to them too long, because if that happens, many of these alts are going to be doomed 99% from their top, just like we witnessed in the previous cycle. So be careful. Everyone wants to time the market. Everyone wants to sell Bitcoin at the top and buy back at the bottom, but it's very difficult to time it. So you got to keep that in mind. Love the hat. Thank you, Sandman. Appreciate it, family. What up, DC? Yo, money. What up, Dusty Hunt? Appreciate ya. What up, Caleb? Good morning to you as well, family. And Nathan, good to see you too. Hopefully I said hello to everyone here. And as everyone's coming in, I appreciate you guys. But let's kick it off with our Bitcoin TA. And actually, Adam Back's $100,000 Bitcoin price prediction. In fact, he made a wager betting that the Bitcoin price action will hit $100,000 by March 31st, 2024, which is ultimately right before the halving takes place in April. So let's discuss the latest. What's going on here? Biblical events hurt Bitcoin. Back weighed in on the potential price action of Bitcoin as the next halving, which will see the Bitcoin miners block reward reduced by 6.25 Bitcoin to 3.125 BTC, taking place set in April, 4 months out. Block reward halvings are programmatically hardwired into the Bitcoin code, taking place after every 210,000 blocks, which are mined. And here you can see the Bitcoin supply issuance is hardwired into the protocol, with Bitcoin mining rewards halving every 210,000 blocks. So this is Bitcoin inflation versus time. Now, Adam Back says that the overlaid averages of the previous market cycles and halvings indicate that Bitcoin's relative value is trailing behind the widely accepted projections. Multiple events have played a role in driving the price of Bitcoin down, which has also been seen across conventional financial markets. Quoting him here, the last few years were like biblical pestilence and plague. Preach. There was COVID, quantitative easing, and wars affecting power prices. Inflation running up people. Companies are going bankrupt. The impact has keenly affected the markets and portfolio management, according to Back. Investment managers have had to manage risks and losses over the past few years, which has necessitated the sale of more liquid assets. Quoting him again, they have to come up with cash, and sometimes they'll sell the good stuff because it's liquid, and Bitcoin is super liquid. It is this used to happen with gold, and I think that's a factor for Bitcoin in the last couple of years. Now, Bitcoin would have hit 100,000 already, according to Back. So as 2023 comes to a close, many of those macro events that Back cited would have wound down, while more industry-specific failures have also been resolved. This has been reflected in the Bitcoin recent price surge. Thus far this year, again, we're up probably close to 170%. I think we were at like 16,000 starting off the year. Quoting him here, the wave of the contagion, the companies that went bankrupt because they were exposed to Three Arrows Capital, Celsius, BlockFi, and FTX, that's mostly done. We don't think there are many more big surprises in store. What are your thoughts? Now, the Blockstream CEO predicts the Bitcoin will hit 100,000 per coin in the following market cycle earlier this year, and referred back to the point. He believed Bitcoin would have hit this mark already, if not for the factors highlighted, which we just previously discussed, the, FTX debacle and the rest of those contagion events occurring in the market. Now, Back also referred to the Bitcoin stock-to-flow model created by Plan B as a reference point for the potential upside for Bitcoin in 2024. We know that the stock-to-flow model is ultimately predicting post-2024 having a price action window between 100,000 and $1 million per coin between 2024 and 2028. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the stock to flow. Back explains Plan B's model and heuristics suggest savvy Bitcoin investors historically bought Bitcoin 6 months before the halving event and sold into significant surges in price that have occurred in the 18 months following the drop in mining rewards. Quoting him again, people thought it was a bit of a crazy assertion that we might get to 100,000 per coin pre-halving because I said it when the price was around 20,000, and lo and behold, he did. We covered it here on the show earlier in the year, so much respect to Adam Back. He adds that the Bitcoin price hitting 44,000 multiple times in December suggests that his prior prediction might not be so far-fetched. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Now let's discuss the Bitcoin ETF effect, and later in the show we'll discuss ETFs in more detail and the latest. Prominent investors and market analysts have highlighted the effect of potential approval of several spot ETF apps by the US SEC. Quoting Eric Balchunas, the lead ETF analyst over at Bloomberg, people are asking me if we change the odds. No, we're still holding the line at 90% odds of the approval by January 10th. For this cycle, the same odds we have had for months before it was cool or safe. What we're watching for now, more amended final filings for the roll-in and the clarity of the in-kind cash creates. So there you have it. And quoting Michael Novogratz, I think Bitcoin can get to 100,000 even before the ETF and before the halving, but I certainly think the ETF shouldn't be undervalued and it's influence. So there you have it, my crypto fam. Now a little bonus news, Safe Moon. I remember Dave Portnoy, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but he was like, he was kind of like talking ish about Bitcoin, and he's like, I invested into Safe Moon. It's safe and it's going to moon. What can go wrong? Well, it just filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, Portnoy. You should have stuck with your freaking Bitcoin position. It's kind of sad, and I always feel sad for the investors who got caught, in this mess. But nonetheless, that's the risk you're exposed to when you're coining. So be very careful out there, fam. And with that being shared, let me check the live chat again. Welcome, CoinIQ. It's very rare I get to see you. Good to see you, family. Send it. Welcome, Crack Knee. Good to see you. Shout out to all the HODL gang and MicroStrategy members out here as well, which are the paid members of the channel. We now have over 200, so I'm very appreciative for that. Crazy week in Bitcoin. Thoughts? You think we end the year? That's actually a great question, Crypto Paradise. I oppose that question to you guys. Where do you think we end the year? I still think 50,000 would be a solid target. I think we could potentially hit that as we're heading into Christmas here. Will we continue to pump? Well, we have to break the local high of the year, which is currently 44,750. So ultimately 45. If we can flip that resistance, flip it into a strong support, the next likely target, in my opinion, is going to be between $48,000 to $50,000. I'm still hopeful we can see that before the end of the year. But what are your thoughts? I'll read some of those out loud. I'm usually hiding in the background like Dank, right on CoinIQ. It's kind of like Superman and Clark Kent. CoinIQ and digital dankness. So watch out for those two. Thoughts on 80,000 this cycle? Top? Oh man, that's conservative. I can see 80,000 occurring before the halving potentially. I mean, Adam Back's predicting 100,000. If we don't hit 100,000 pre-halving, we're absolutely going to hit it post-halving. I think 100,000 target for 2024 is pretty solid and conservative at the same time. Cycle peak, I don't see occurring until 2025 if history is to rhyme, because typically it's the year preceding the halving. We hit the cycle peak, just like we had a halving in 2020. It wasn't until the following year, 2021 in December, or November in this case, we hit the 69,000 current all-time high. When God candle, we're going to be discussing that, so stay tuned. Crypto surge, hopefully sooner than later. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a $100,000 candle? I mean, that would send Bitcoin north of 140,000 per coin, for Christ's sake. Silver says, excellent broadcast time. Thank you. I'm glad it's working out for you, family. But note, tomorrow we'll be back to our normal time, which will be 3 p.m. Eastern, as we're live every day. Every once in a while, we switch it up and do it in the morning, depending upon my schedule. And then in the evenings, if you didn't know, we take these live premieres or live podcasts, and then we edit out all the Q&A, such as us interacting right now, and it's just pure content, and we premiere that on the channel right here at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, you know, I'll be chatting with you guys in the chat later as well for the premiere. Yes, you are Superman, CoinIQ. Keep it real. 100%. If you can be a woman, then yes, you can be Superman. In fact, it's your pronoun now. Oh boy. Oh my God. Pump to 69. Let's go. I was hoping to see at least 48,000 this week. Well, obviously we didn't continue the pumpage. We're correcting, but I think that's a good sign, a little consolidation. But here's one thing I have recognized, that the dips are very short-lived. Like, just as when Binance CEO stepped down CZ, they paid that $4.3 billion fine. I think the crypto market dumped $2,000. Within 48 hours, we were right back testing those levels and hitting a new annual high. And every time we correct, it's very short-lived. So take advantage of the dips. This window of opportunity to stack sats is not going to last long. And I mean, once we surpass $45,000, $50,000 and head back north to all-time highs, we may never see these price levels ever again. So you got to keep that in consideration. I've been dumping fiat into Bitcoin like crazy lately, about to dump another 500 in a few minutes. Stack sats. Congratulations, Brock. Music to my ears. Keep stacking. You like the hat in orange. I appreciate that, yo. It will come to 38,000 potentially. Willy Woo, on-chain analyst, did call 39,000 as a potential target for a bottom. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Or do you think 40,000 will likely hold, just as we did just previously? Sats are disappearing quickly. Scoop them up while you still can. Amen. But now let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss the latest with the Ledger hack. How many of you are currently using the Ledger wallet? Let me know. And if you missed yesterday's show, pay very close attention, because here's the latest updates of what's going on with the Ledger hack. And shout out to Tajoras. I appreciate you subbing to the #1 daily pod. Bitcoin pod, that is. Much love. Here we go. The Ledger hacker who siphoned away at least 484,000 from multiple Web3 apps December 14th did so by tricking users into making malicious token approvals, according to the team behind blockchain security platform Cybers. According to the public statement made by multiple parties involved, the hack occurred on the morning of yesterday, December 14th. The attacker used a phishing exploit to compromise the computer of a former Ledger employee. Yikes. Gaining access to the employee's node package manager JavaScript account. Now, Ledger did announce here on yesterday at 9:30 a.m., we have identified and removed the malicious version of the Ledger Connect kit. A genuine version is being pushed to replace the malicious file now. Do not interact with any dApps for the moment, and we'll keep you informed as the situation evolves. Now, once they gained access, they uploaded a malicious update to the Ledger Connect GitHub repo. Ledger Connect is a commonly used package for Web3 apps. Some Web3 apps upgraded to the new version, causing their apps to distribute to malicious code to user browsers. Web3 apps such as Zapper, SushiSwap, Phantom, Balancer, and Revoke.cash were infected with the code. And as a result, the attacker was able to siphon away at least 484,000. And I heard updates, it's now like in the millions, so just FYI. Now, how could it have happened? Let's discuss it. Cyber CEO Dedi Levid, the Chief Technology Officer, Meir Dolev, and blockchain analyst Hakal Yunal shed further light on how the attack may have occurred. According to them, the attacker likely used malicious code to display confusing transaction data in the user's wallet, leading the user to approve transactions they didn't intend to. And when developers create Web3 apps that use open source Connect kits to allow their apps to connect with user wallets. Now, these kits are stock pieces of code that can be installed in multiple apps, allowing them to handle the connection process without needing to spend time writing code. Now, Ledger's Connect kit is one of the options available to handle this task. Now, Jameson Lott shared the following regarding this. It sounds like today's security incident was the culmination of 3 separate failures at Ledger. Number 1, blindly loading code without pinning a specific version and checksum. Number 2, not enforcing 2-man rules around the code review and development. And number 3, not revoking former employee access. So whose fault is it? Clearly, it's Ledger. So do note that. There's a reason I told you guys be very careful with this wallet. For months, I've been preaching I no longer trust them for many reasons. We've discussed this many times on the show. I like Trezor and these other wallets because I respect open source. And also, I don't like the fact that Ledger has backdoors and clearly they're not following the most safety protocols we need. And if you're going to lose your crypto, I mean, it's your own fault at the end of the day. So be very careful out there. When a developer first writes their app, they usually install a Connect kit through a node package manager. After creating a build and uploading it to their site, their app will contain the Connect kit as part of the code, which will then be downloaded into the user's browser whenever the user visits the site. So there you have it, malicious code. Unfortunately, you got to be very careful of all these attacks. Also, MetaMask wallet isn't safe. It's pretty much also a bug within the Ethereum protocol you got to keep in mind. So all wallets with Ethereum can be suspect. You know what I mean? So for example, the MetaMask wallet, so many instances I've shared stories right here on the podcast of people being hacked and drained of all of their crypto. So be very careful, family. Now this approval, well, we'll skip that part. Let's see. Get down to the end here. Here we go. Final paragraph. While Web3 tools in the future could allow attacks like these to be detected and thwarted in advance, the industry still has a long way to go in solving this problem. So there you have it. Be careful out there holding your Ethereum specifically. And if you're using the Ledger wallet, yikes, I would probably replace that wallet with something superior ASAP. You know what I mean? Keith says, losing all of my fiat to nothing but digital, what? Bulk Shido? Picked a Ledger just to bag some everyone, or bag some Solana, says Johnny Saint. Gotcha. Jash, JV is the truth. Peace and peace to everyone. Appreciate you, Ja. Much love. Which is the best wallet that supports alts as well? Most all wallets support alts. I'm not going to say all because some are exclusive for Bitcoin, but Trezor, for example, supports Bitcoin and altcoins. So, you know, and there's other options. There's the Elipal. There's the Blockstream Jade. What do you guys recommend? Which wallets are you using that you can recommend to others that has no backdoors and is open source? Let me know. Jeff says, I have both Ledger and Trezor. The Ledger was only used to stake ETH, but I have sold all my ETH for Bitcoin, so I no longer use it. I'm considering a Bitcoin-only wallet. Love it, Jeff. Congratulations there and smart thinking. Should I convert my Solana and AVAX for Bitcoin only? That's a question and decision you gotta, figure out on your own, Earl. That is up to you, family. Trezor or Bitbox 2? Okay, Bitbox 2, another wallet. I'm not familiar with that one, Allah. Thanks for sharing. There we go. The Cold Card is a great one as well. Looks like a little calculator. It has air gap technology where basically it never needs to be plugged into a computer or the internet, making it practically hack proof, virtually impossible to get hacked using that wallet. So yeah, check it out. CoinCard, yeah. Johnny Saint, you got it. I've never heard of any problems with my LPAL, and I love that cold wallet, says Dankness. Right on. Thank you for sharing, family. I believe that one is also open source and a good pick. What it do? I have Trezor for my Bitcoin and Cardano and LPAL for my AVAX and Solana, says Jack. Good to note. And we just retook 42,000. We're continuing to pump as we go live. So let's continue. Let's go. All right, guys. Well, you've heard it. Tangem is another wallet a lot of people recommend. I've never used it. I have no experience with it. Bitcoin, Trini to man. Welcome, Trini. Appreciate you. What up, Neo Styles and the rest of the fam? Just joining us. Appreciate the support. But that's the latest from Ledger. I'll be keeping you up to date with the hack. Now let's discuss new Bitcoin ETF. Yes, let's go. Check it out. First Trust files for the Bitcoin Buffer ETF with the SEC. That's right. The financial services firm Firm Trust is the latest company to file for a Bitcoin ETF, but not a spot ETF. You got to keep that in mind. December 14th, First Trust submitted a Form N1A filing with the US SEC to launch a new Bitcoin-linked product called the First Trust Bitcoin Buffer ETF. According to the prospectus, the fund is designed to participate in the positive price returns before the fees and expenses of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust or another exchange-traded product, which is an ETP, that provides exposure to the performance of Bitcoin. Now, unlike a spot Bitcoin ETF, which is linked to the performance of Bitcoin, a buffer ETF uses options to pursue a defined investment outcome. So there you have it. I guess buffer is just another term for futures. A buffer ETF is designed to protect investors from market drop losses by placing a buffer or a limit on the stock's growth over a defined period, also known as a defined outcome ETF. Buffer ETFs use options to guarantee an investment outcome and seek to provide a targeted level of downside protection if the markets experience negative returns. Now, Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seyfarth shared that on the First Trust Bitcoin Buffer ETF, stating that these types of funds protect against a set percentage of downside loss with capped upside, quoting the analyst here. Expect to see other entrants in the space with unique differentiated strategies offering Bitcoin exposure, overcoming the weaks, as mentioned right here on X. Now, First Trust's Bitcoin Buffer ETF is one of the first such ETF filings with the US SEC. And according to data from ETF.com, there are now 139 buffer ETFs trading on the US markets. That's right, with total assets under management amounting to $32.5 billion. And buffer ETFs can be found in asset classes such as equity, commodities, and fixed income. Buffer ETFs have been ballooning in recent years, with the world's largest ETF issuer, BlackRock, debuting its first iShares Buffer ETFs back in June of this year. The new products, the iShares Large Cap Moderate Buffer ETF and the iShares Large Cap Deep Buffer ETF, had added 5% and 2% since launch, respectively, according to data from TradingView. Now, despite the capabilities, a buffer ETF still doesn't guarantee complete protection, so be careful. As it might seem, you may lose some or all of your money by investing in the fund. The fund has characteristics unlike many of the other typical investment products and may not be suitable for all investors. Quoting them here, there can be no guarantee that the fund will be successful in its strategy to provide downside protection against underlying ETF losses, said BlackRock ETF expert Jay Jacobs. He wrote that in 5 questions on buffer ETFs. A buffer ETF also doesn't provide principal or non-principal protection, meaning that an investor may still lose the entire investment. Your best bet, if you're a regular pleb like the rest of us, just stack Bitcoin in a cold storage wallet. Don't worry about these ETFs because they're going to get 20% of your investment over time as well. So you got to keep all of that in mind. These ETFs are for the big dogs, the institutions with the mass capital looking to deploy it into Bitcoin. Now, other breaking news, I just shared this on X yesterday. BlackRock met with the SEC yet again to discuss their spot Bitcoin ETF. This is like their 4th meeting in the past few weeks. So definitely a bullish sign because there's ongoing communication back and forth between the two. So we know they're entertaining this approval. Do you think this approval for BlackRock will likely come by the deadline of January 10th? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm going to read some of these comments and sip some water. I appreciate you guys. Yes. Okay. The LPAL looks clean. Wow. For all the people looking to buy the dip, Bitcoin keeps making higher lows. Now is your chance. The DCA, dollar cost average. There you go. What up, Jack? What it do? ICP is leading today. It is one of the top gainers, so congratulations, Joe, if that's one of your coins. Trezor Model Coin IQ says T-Ledger Nano. There's the Plus Safe Pal, Ella Pal. There's the Coal Wallet. There's the Pro Keystone. There's the Pro Blockstream. There's the Jade Bitbox, and there's Arculus Tangem. So those are the top recommended ones, and I know Coin IQ knows what he's talking about because he has a YouTube channel dedicated to educating people in crypto. In fact, I highly encourage everyone to subscribe to the Coin IQ channel, and I would recommend, if you don't mind, Coin IQ, drop your channel link in the chat and we'll get everyone to sub to show you some support. He's also helping me behind the scenes with the channel. He actually built out all these overlays, all the holiday themes, and helps me with editing all of the shorts for the Clips channel. So massive shout out to Coin IQ and Digital Dankness. We appreciate that, family. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, a lot of excitement in the market right now. Will Bitcoin hit $1 a Satoshi? Holy moly. Well, you got to run the math there. If one Bitcoin can be divided by 100 million Satoshis, that would make Bitcoin worth $100 million per coin. I'm all for it. So please send Bitcoin to $1, please. Let's go. ICP moved from 33 to 25 on CoinMarketCap in 2 days. Wow. So the basically the market of ICP is growing fast. And there you go. Dankness's Coin IQ channel. Make sure to sub. Great content over there. We show our support to the crypto fam. Has anyone ever seen a miracle? 100%. Chris says, if you have ever recovered a wallet, try. It's a scary experience once you have actually find out that you're backed up your wallet correctly. Right on. 2032, yes, $1 will be buying you only 1 Satoshi or less. Imagine that. That would mean hyperinflation of the dollar. Anything's possible. You know what I mean? We had Fidelity's Jurian Timmer predict $1 billion Bitcoin price by the year 2038, which means in 15 years. And that's off the back of the idea that, you know, the dollar will hyperinflate to being worthless, losing 99.99% of all of its value. You know what I mean? I'd love to think the ETF is going to be approved soon. I'm wondering why Kathy sold a bunch of her Bitcoin. Any thoughts? I'm sorry, I don't know. But I'm sure she owns billions of dollars worth of investments. So sometimes you got to move some stuff around. She is still extremely bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, if you listen to her interviews, you'll know firsthand. I am a 60-year-old woman, and if I can buy Bitcoin, anyone can. No need for a boomer ETF. Amen, Treasure Christie. And I appreciate you, and congrats on stacking them sats. And for those words of support for everyone listening right now, maybe thinking, hey, is this too complicated? No, you just got to do it and take action and have the patience to hodl, right? Good morning, Web3 View. Appreciate you. When we get to $1 sats, an apple will cost 250 sats. Depends if you want a Granny Smith or Red Delicious. Maybe they'll all be the same price. Who knows? But yeah, I appreciate you guys. But anyways, let's dive into our next story of the day. We still have a lot to cover. The next story is Gensler talking about the Grayscale ETF and that lawsuit recently in which the SEC actually took an L and GBTC won. They're trying to convert their trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. So here's the latest what Gary Gensler had to share regarding this. I mean, everyone's favorite chairman of the SEC, Gary the Worm, Mr. No Clarity, Gary. U.S. SEC Chairman Gensler hinted that the regulator has been rethinking its approach to the spot Bitcoin ETF products following the recent Grayscale court decision. Speaking on December 14th, we actually did a react session on Rumble to his speech. If you missed that, you can catch that on Rumble later. Gensler was questioned about the long list of pending spot Bitcoin ETF apps. He said the SEC has between 8 and a dozen filings going through the process at the moment. Now, there's actually 13 I'm aware of, and these are for spot ETFs. Sharing what he said here. We have in the past denied a number of these applications, he said, before adding that the courts have weighed in on that. What followed was a statement suggesting the agency could be changing its tack on Bitcoin, quoting him here. So we're taking a new look at this based upon those court rulings. So yeah, he admits it. And we all know they've been suppressing the spot ETF for a freaking decade. That's when the first application was actually submitted to the SEC by the Winklevoss twins of the Gemini Exchange. And ever since, they haven't been allowing it. But why have they allowed all these future ETFs? Why? I think they're allowing their homeboys such as BlackRock and the rest of Wall Street to seed their products for their ETFs. What are your thoughts? Now, news anchor Sarah Eisen asked whether he was referring to Grayscale. However, Gensler evaded the question because he's no Claire Gare, stating that everything at the SEC is done within the laws Congress has passed and how the court interprets them. Well, you need to start listening to Congress, because Congressman, what's his name? Emmer, he is telling you to approve the ETF spot immediately. How many of you remember that? Now, in August, the federal judge overturned the SEC decision to deny an ETF offering from Grayscale Investments to its Bitcoin trust. Since then, several large asset managers, including BlackRock, the world's largest, Fidelity, Grayscale, Invesco, Galaxy, VanEck, and Valkyrie, are now in the race to launch a spot Bitcoin ETF. All applications have been delayed, but some analysts are confident that a batch approval will occur in early January 2024. Do you agree with that sentiment, that we're likely to get a basket of these ETFs approved at the same time for the SEC to avoid showing favoritism, which can lead to some lawsuits? Let me know your thoughts. And in a separate interview with Bloomberg's Kaylee Lanes on December 14th, Gensler sidestepped questions yet again regarding the number of filings for spot Bitcoin products. Instead, he spoke about the recent changes of the U.S. Treasury market as the focus of the agency's priorities, saying, we're not even focused on the ETFs. In response to Gensler's interview, here's what Brian Steele commented on Twitter. Chair Gensler obfuscates on crypto with the press like he does at committee hearings. He does not want to explain his agency's aggressive regulatory approach, which is pushing crypto offshore. Very well said. Gensler very rarely gives clear answers. He is a master at hedging his words. He is a deflector, is ultimately what they're trying to say. You know what I mean? Let me know if you agree or disagree with that sentiment. Like I said, we did a react session to this actual interview on Rumble yesterday. If you missed it, you can check it out later on my channel over on Rumble. So let me know your thoughts surrounding GBTZ, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, the largest hodler of Bitcoin that currently have over 620,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Do you think they're likely to get the green light from the SEC and be able to convert their trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF? What are your thoughts? Let me know, and I'll read some of these comments out loud. Sadly, Congressman Emmer's directive to Gensler's approach to the spot ETF has no weight in law. He is just a guy talking. Congress needs to pass a law. There you go, Nate. I guess it is that way, is because Gensler clearly didn't listen. They said approve it immediately, and Gensler's still not giving any clarity. The SEC will need to approve as a group. Right on. So you're talking about a basket or a collective of them being approved at the same time. Makes sense. There is a backdoor to Ledger that's impossible to access if the PIN is set. Plus, the Ledger has to be hooked up to the computer for an extended period of time, points out Jeff Rhodes. Appreciate the insights, Jeff. Dankness says Gensler is a worm. How many of you think Gensler should be fired? If so, put a 1 in the chat. Only if you feel Gensler should be fired for corruption and colluding and other criminal activity. Let me know your thoughts. I want to know how many people think Gensler is a criminal. How can your Ledger cold storage possibly be hacked without the seed phrase? Ask Dirty. What's the most interesting, memorable episode or moments of your show, JB? For me, the thing that comes to the top and the forefront of my mind, I interviewed McAfee before he died, right before he died. And it was my first interview actually on the channel. If you guys missed that, it's classic. It was on my bucket list to interview John McAfee and smoke a blunt at the same time. And what did I do? I interviewed McAfee smoking a blunt. He was sipping on some Jameson. It was lit. And rest in peace, McAfee. We love you, big dog. Zach Hudson put a 1. 1 from Wisteria. Silver put a 1. Johnny Lee put a 1. Jeff put a 1. Jennifer Conkrite put a 1. David put a 1. Hollow for Diamonds put a 1. We need to be tagging Gary on X Daily. When ETF? When ETF? When approval? This guy, yes, 100%. All of you guys, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Gary is protecting us from the market makers. Do you really believe that? I think he's not protecting us. If he was protecting us, he would give us that ETF a long time ago. What's the logic for not having it and having multiple futures? Makes no logic whatsoever. You know what I mean? Christie, we need a new president to appoint the new SEC head. Amen. We need a new president of the United States. Facts. We need a new chairman of the SEC. Facts. Replace all these mofos with non-corrupt mofos. Do the dishes put a 1. Carl Berry put a 1. Right on. Carl, the UK in the building. What up, UK? Shout out to my fam out there. I haven't been to London in a minute. I need to visit again. Johnny, welcome family, put a 1 in there as well. So I think it's unanimous. You guys are sick of Gensler and think he should be fired. We need Robert Kennedy, says Neo Styles. You're talking about RFK Jr. He is pro-Bitcoin. Or Ron Paul, says Neo. Sadat says Trump. Who will win the presidency? Could it be Vivek Ramaswamy? Could it be RFK Jr. running independent? Will it be Trump with the new NFT collection, the mugshot edition? Or will it be Biden, another repeat, and the guy can't even walk? I mean, maybe they'll just make another clone of him and pretend he's a real human being. Who knows? But yeah, we absolutely need a change, and we need a change fast because America is heading down the tubes. We can't do another 4 years like this. You know what I mean? We cannot. Gensler was teaching crypto at MIT, and holding it back is totally a oxymoron. There you go. He's very educated, clearly, with crypto. We need JV in the SEC? No, thank you. I would be murdered. 100%. They'd be like, whatever you do, JV, deflect and don't approve the ETF. My first day in office. So we're going to approve the ETF. They're going, what? Get him out. Get him out. Oh my God, not Biden, right? I'm a new member. Welcome, Repon. Appreciate you. Get behind me, Satan. One. Right. I think Gensler has homeschooled, then sent to public school at the 11th grade where he got beat his first day. If Biden wins, I'm migrating to Pakistan. I think everyone's just going to leave the country. You know what I mean? We may all end up at Bitcoin City in El Salvador. Why not? I like Vivek, but he is a lot older. People don't like him, or the older people don't like him. Why does the United States president got to be so old? Like, is it a requirement to be 70 or 80 and be a president? All these other, look at Bukele. He's like a young man. You know what I mean? Don't even have all gray hair yet. I appreciate that. Zero just gifted a free MicroStrategy membership of the channel to, it looks like, Jennifer. Congratulations, Jennifer. You've just been hooked up and blessed. So thanks, Zero, for that one. You know what I mean? RFK could win, but going indie sets him up for failure. Yeah, I'm afraid I feel the same way. Has a independent candidate ever won in the history of the presidency in the United States? Let me know, because I just don't recall it. It's always Democrat or Republican, so I'm curious. It's a law to be above 65. No, is it? It should be below 65. Why do we want such old people as the president? I think the president should be fit, able to box, spar with Mike Tyson, do some pull-ups, some push-ups. That's why I respect RFK Jr. I see him getting buff, you know, putting those ups in, doing those pull-ups. I'm like, respect. Biden can't do a push-up or a pull-up. He can't even tie his own shoe. Oh, because so many old people vote. I see. Is there more voters that are old people than the younger generation? Is that it? I think a lot of the younger generation, maybe like myself, we believe our vote don't count because regardless of who we vote for, it's already predetermined who they're going to choose. Like, we can all agree Biden did not win the presidency in 2020. They gave it to him. There's no way he got more votes than Obama and all the most popular presidents to ever exist. There's just no physical way possible. What are your thoughts? But you get me ranting. McAfee was great, the interview. Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Nigel. Yeah, I'm sick of these old guys in office, as Jackie. He can get down the stairs quick, rolling. The law is 35 for president. Okay, good to know. That makes more sense. 35, okay. That means I'm 40, about to be 41, so... What about Mr. Beast? I think everyone would vote for Mr. Beast. He's probably the most liked person on YouTube. He does more good for humanity than all the so-called philanthropists out there and people worth hundreds of billions of dollars. That's a fact. You know what I mean? Teddy Roosevelt as independent. Oh, his third term. Didn't know that. Law 35 years to be president. Good to note. Biden couldn't pull up his own boxers. Good point. You the man, JV. Good men and top dog Nipsey. Shout out Nipsey, the mascot of the show. It's a little colder here, so there's a fan on, so he went into the other room. He don't like the cold air. Daddy diapers can't even ride a bike. Yeah, unfortunately. But anyways, let's dive into our next story of the day. I appreciate all the feedback, all the comments, all the interaction. Now let's discuss the latest with Arthur Hayes doubling down on his $1 million price prediction and happy Kwanzaa to everyone who celebrates Kwanzaa. Let's go. So here we go. Here's the latest from Just Blaze. Arthur Hayes doubling down on his $1 million price prediction. Let's break it down. Going long crypto is the key to success as markets bet on the United States Federal Reserve lowering interest rates next year, according to Arthur Hayes. December 13th, the latest meeting of the FOMC, Fed policymakers voted to continue a freeze on interest rate hikes. Let me know if you feel they'll live up to their word here. And while broadly expected, a subsequent speech and press conference with the chairman, Jerome Powell, sparked talk of impending rate cuts, an event known as Pivot in their policy. Now, while we believe that our policy rate is likely at or near its peak for this tightening cycle, the economy has surprised forecasters in many ways since the pandemic, and ongoing progress towards our 2% inflation objective is not assured. I think it's crazy that it's like, yeah, we got inflation under control at 2%. Meanwhile, the real inflation, when they're not fudging the numbers, is closer to 20, potentially 30%. Depends on what we're using to measure it, right? We got to look at real estate. You got to look at food and all of the things that are going up crazily. You know what I mean? Now, with that, market consensus over what might happen at the next FOMC meeting in January began to diverge. Per data from the CME Group's FedWatch tool, the odds of a cut coming early in 2024 currently stand at 18.6%. Let me know your thoughts, family. Now, Fed decision day was followed by mainstream media attention, focusing on the increasing optimism that U.S. monetary policy would begin to unwind after the unprecedented rate tightening cycle. Reposting one such story, Hayes was in no two minds about what the knock-on effect for liquidity-sensitive crypto would be. Quoting him here, "At this point, there is no excuse not to be long crypto. How many more times must they tell you that the fiat in your pocket is a filthy piece of trash?" Hayes further reiterated his long-standing $1 million Bitcoin price prediction as a result of macro tides eroding the value of national currencies. In fact, we covered this previously on the show. He's projecting Bitcoin reaching between $750,000 and $1 million per coin post 2024 halving. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Crypto Hayes. And we already discussed the ledger hack and the price action, so we'll skip right past that. And quoting him here from X, "At this point, there is no excuse not to be long crypto. How many more times must they tell you that your fiat in your pocket is a filthy piece of trash? Believe in the Lord, and he shall set you free. Bitcoin and $1 million Yahtzee." So there you go. How many of you remember Yahtzee? That was actually a fun game I used to play when I was a kid. Remember, you'd have the dice in the cup, you roll it, Yahtzee, let's go. Blessed, welcome. Appreciate you tuning into the live. Definitely, says Zach, I think the best one could be Elon Musk. You talking about for president? What are your guys' thoughts on Elon for president? I don't think he's ever talked about running for president. Has he? So I don't think he's running. But if you know something I don't know, holla. What up, T-Fam? Welcome, family. Only spot, not your keys, not your crypto. Amen. We need spot. Spot is the ETF way to go. Yes, I use Fidelity, crypto, and Coinbase, says Fluff. We know Fidelity extremely bullish on Bitcoin as well, one of the largest asset managers in the world. They control $4.5 trillion in assets under management. And Abigail Johnson is their CEO, who is the female version of Larry Fink. And her grandfather is actually the founder of Fidelity. Yes, seems a little cheaper on Coinbase. Well, all the exchanges have a little different prices, right? We should remind him who you're referring to there, Sadat. He was not born in the U.S. I don't know who you're referring to. Philosopher. Some people being moderated. Yeah, be careful with adult language on YouTube. Not your electricity, not your Tesla. Oh, you're referring to Elon. Gotcha. Okay, now that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, who do you think really has the best chance of winning and who will win? Let me know. So that's talking about Musk. Okay. Alts pumped hard. Indication of a crypto market local top for the short term. Getting a little nervous. I mean, anything is possible, family. You just got to hold for the long haul. This is not gambling. This is not a casino. You freaking stack your sats. You hodl for a couple of cycles. 8 years later, there's a couple of zeros added to the price action when you first bought them. You're golden, right? We add a zero this cycle, we're talking about over 400,000 per coin. And if we add a zero the following cycle by 2028, we're talking about $4 million per coin. So will we continue adding a zero at the end of each cycle? Let me know your thoughts. From zero to hero, bring it. Facts, says Keith. He is from South Africa. Oh, you're referring to Elon. So is that one of the things you have to be born in the United States? I know there was a lot of controversy with Obama when he became president. Alex Jones created a documentary, says he wasn't born in the United States. I'm not going to discuss it any further here, but it was actually quite interesting. Trump all the way, says Earl Harris. Well, at least we know Trump was born in the U.S., right? Elon was born in South Africa. You have to be U.S. born to run for president. Oh, thanks for that. What about Andrew Tate? What if Tate ran for president? Top G? Anyone vote for Top G? Oh, good to know, Dankness. Thank you, family. The Keiser candle for president. Now we're talking. And speaking of the Keiser candle, let's dip into our feature story of the day, shall we? Let's discuss the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well as Qatar adopting Bitcoin and ultimately converting their sovereign wealth fund into BTC. There's some insights and some bombshells Max Keiser recently shared. So let's break this feature story of the day down, shall we? Let's start with this headline. World's largest oil company, Saudi Aramco, partners with SBI Holdings to potentially invest in digital assets. This is a big deal because it's the largest oil company in the world, and this is the largest bank out of Japan, SBI Holdings. Now, Max Keiser just tweeted this morning the following after I made a tweet for my show. He wrote, "What I heard 9 months ago and reported on is happening. Aramco is doing a Michael Saylor and putting billions of dollars into Bitcoin. FOMO is real." So there you have it. He says they're already purchasing billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Now, Max also tweeted this morning, countries that have no Bitcoin on their books will die. Russia, China, Israel, for example, are heading to the shitter. El Salvador is rising. The USA has Bitcoin, but they have loaned them out and will lose them to Michael Saylor. Let me know if you agree or disagree to that sentiment. In other headlines, Saudi Aramco on the verge of embracing Bitcoin. Let's freaking go. Another headline, Bitcoin maxing advisor to El Salvador President Max Keiser predicts the Bitcoin price to hit 375,000 per coin. He actually has a tweet right here, which he shares. Bitcoin price was lagging behind the rise of the hash rate while competitor CZ and Binance was being targeted and then taken down at the behest of the large Wall Street players. The price rise is now catching up to the implied hash adjusted price of 375,000 per coin. Now, I think that's a pretty solid target for this cycle peak. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're likely to catch up to the adjusted implied hash adjusted price? Let me know your thoughts. Other news here, I want to share some recent tweets from him regarding this topic as well. So on the back of this headline, he also wrote, translation, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Qatar are about to drop $1 trillion into Bitcoin. That's how we translate this headline of the world's largest oil company partnering with the Japanese finance giant to invest in digital assets. He also wrote, Russia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Iran will start doing deals in Bitcoin. Qatar knows this and is pulling the trigger on a huge Bitcoin buy for their sovereign wealth fund. And he shared this off the back of the news. Iran's president arrives in Moscow, Russia, to meet Putin just one day after the Russian leader met Saudi leaders. So are all these leaders of the world meeting, discussing Bitcoin and de-dollarization, just like the BRICS movement? What are your thoughts? I mean, this is pretty powerful. He also wrote that the God candle is a $100,000 uptick in Bitcoin, which is in play. It will shift the global access to wealth and power in a single tick. Let's freaking go. He also shared, I have one word for you, $100,000 Bitcoin God candle fans. Qatar, let's go. The rumors are getting very loud on this. Their sovereign wealth fund is rumored to be looking to buy $500 billion worth of BTC. Now, their Emir, who is ultimately their king or president, did meet with Bukele a few months back. You can see the evidence of that right here, Bukele and the Qatar president. He also wrote update to add some more clarity. Here's what my source said. Bitcoin makes our $500 billion sovereign wealth fund effectively worthless. We should just convert all of it into Bitcoin. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I think that would be lit if there was that much Bitcoin to actually buy in the open market right now. But nonetheless, that's a big deal. So now you know the context. Now, also, he wrote this morning, Volcano Energy is advising President Bukele on volcano bonds. We have identified 18 volcanoes out of 27 that are prime locations for geothermal Bitcoin mining. Let's go. Now, geothermal energy is genius, using free energy that the volcano is naturally producing to mine Bitcoin. Now, how many volcanoes are there across Central America, South America, and different parts of the world? They have identified already out of the 27, 18 that are prime locations for geothermal. So this can start a domino effect for massive Bitcoin mining operations across the globe. So this is a pretty big deal. And we also have talks of President of Colombia becoming a Bitcoiner. Recently has 100,000 sats that Samson Mao gifted him. There's other countries talking about adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender as well. So there's a lot going on. There's so much bullishness, and it's a beautiful thing. But let's get back to this story here, because this is a massive partnership. Saudi Aramco, the largest oil and gas company, might be on the brink of investing in digital assets. Which digital asset do you think they'll choose? I mean, clearly, Bitcoin being the king, why wouldn't they? The company, which has a market cap of over $2 trillion. So they have the funds, they have the resources, and they just signed a memorandum of understanding with SBI Holdings. I believe that's like the largest bank, correct me if I'm wrong, in Japan, to explore collaboration in various fields of investment, including digital assets, aka Bitcoin. Now, they established that both companies will collaborate in the field of digital assets and co-investments, leveraging both parties' investment portfolios related to digital assets. SBI has an extensive investment in companies that use digital assets in their business model. The company recently partnered with the stablecoin company Circle and has a long-time collaboration with Ripple, which is a crypto-based payments company. So this is pretty big. The memorandum details that Saudi Aramco will identify and support Japanese startups in the digital asset area that wishes to expand their business in the Middle East, supporting their entry and growth into the region. So there you have it. I also want to read you some stuff from which article that we have here? Right here. So Max Keiser is now up 20 million% on his Bitcoin investment since 2011. And he has been telling us about Bitcoin since 2011. Now, how many Bitcoin millionaires have been birthed as a result of Max and Stacy and the Keiser report? You do the math. Probably millions. So much respect to Max. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Bitcoin is the most appreciative asset in human history, and we can still do another easy 100x. If you're here for the long haul, let me know, and let me check some of these comments, fam. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of the bullish predictions of Keiser. Do you think we could potentially see the God or Keiser candle, which is 100,000 in a single day? Let me know. And thanks for that sub, Wosh or Waj. I appreciate that. Thanks for supporting the channel. And hopefully you guys are getting a lot of value out of today's content. Let's now check out some of the comments. Yo, what's good? King Solomon. That's right, Keith Hunt. Let's go. We got these kingdoms in Asia adopting Bitcoin. Don't get no better than that. Han Solo, man. Han Solo. Star Wars. Young Jedi. Nice hat. Where can I get it? You can get it or forget it. No, you can get it on Google probably. I don't know the website I use, but just Google bright orange Bitcoin hat. But it is rare. I haven't found this color orange anywhere else, but you'll find it. And the brand, if it makes it easier, it's called Merch something. I don't know Roman numerals so well. Is that a 6 or a 4, 6 maybe? Merch 6. My hair's all messed up without the hat on, but you're welcome. I also have my own merch store. You can cop some Bitcoin merch at merch.cryptonewsalerts.net. However, I don't have this hat. I just got this hat, so it's not on there. Yeah. Oh my God, a BlackRock ETF will pump Bitcoin price 10x. It's a given. The fair accounting rules that were just passed the other day that we covered on the show, the recognizing Bitcoin as an official investment class and the ETF will send Bitcoin eventually to 5 million per coin, according to Michael Saylor. We've covered that prediction here in the show as well. So everything is going according to plan, even sooner than we anticipated. So anything is possible. If you click the like button while making a wish, it'll come true. Good point, Neo. So if you, right now, I wish to hold 10 Bitcoin in my private wallet. You make that wish, you hit the like button and subscribe at the same time. Your wish is my command, right? You got the entire universe listening to you. You got Satoshi, God, JV, and the rest of the crypto fam here to help you turn that wish into fruition. So let's freaking go. Smash those likes. I like that. The ETF news is red hot. Amen. Congratulations, Mark. Thanks for subbing to the #1 daily pod in Bitcoin. Less than a month until we get the spot ETF. Amen. But you got to keep in mind, just because we get the approval doesn't mean it's going to launch the same month. They say it can take a few weeks or even a few months from approval to launch. But just the news of the approval is going to be so massive. I see the price pumping $10,000 candles in a day. Easy peasy. I don't know about $100,000 Keiser candle. We need a sovereign wealth fund or a nation to adopt Bitcoin. That's when we'll see the God candle. Or Keiser candle in this example, 100,000 in a day, right? Could you imagine just waking up like, what? You think it's a glitch of the exchange? Why is Bitcoin at 160,000? I don't get it. You start scratching your head. Then you check Coin 360, it's the same. Then you check Coin Market Cap and you're just like, what? It happened. And then you see my podcast and I'm talking, yo, Qatar just converted $500 billion of their sovereign wealth fund into Bitcoin. Everyone said it was impossible, but lo and behold, you never know what to expect, so be prepared for all scenarios. I have 10 whole quarters. Well, that makes you worth $2.50, family. I've been watching for the past few nights. There are whales driving down the price. They want to keep it low so they can buy. Exactly. Of course, you know the big dogs, including the regulators, want the price down as they continue accumulating. This is why the price is down. This is why Gary provides no clarity. You don't want to talk about ETFs and shares nothing. He can't even answer a question. Is Ethereum a commodity or an unregistered security? Let's diverge that question and talk about something else. Yeah, God candle won't happen until spot. Well, the spot is around the corner, so hey, I can wait a month. Would be nice. And what happens 4 years later? Ba-bam! Right on. Bring it. Not many people in the world have more than 10 coins. 95% of the wallets have less. Yeah, I'll just give an example, family. I know we have a lot of whole coiners here. So I was kind of relating to the whole coiners looking to get to 10. But I know a lot of you are just looking to get to the whole coin, which is a good goal. Kaizen, thanks for subbing to #1 daily pod for Bitcoin. Qatar buys an ETF approved the same day. Wow, imagine, same freaking day. Oh my God. Yeah, I can expect the God candle if that were to turn true. Like for example, let's say we get to ETF 5 days before the deadline just to hit you off guard. January 5th, ETF is approved. The whole basket, all 13 of the ETF apps for the spot with the SEC approved. Qatar Sovereign Wealth Fund purchases as much Bitcoin that is actually available. Now there's no Bitcoin to go around. We're going into a halving. What happens? Price shoots up. God candle. Send it. We may have to rename it to the Super Saiyan candle. It may be more than 100 G's. You never know. Tomorrow I'll buy 200 billion Bitcoin. There are 0 for BlackRock. There you go. Don't leave any Bitcoin for BlackRock and never sell your Bitcoin because once BlackRock takes it, they will never give it back. This is a lifetime investment for them, just as it is for Sailor and MicroStrategy and JV. This is a lifetime ordeal. You're not getting your Bitcoin back, guys. So be careful. Bitcoin will replace Social Security. Yeah, Social Security is a scam. If you're gaining value, smash the like. I appreciate that, family. Wish I can get a 1/2 a coin. That's my first goal. That's a phenomenal goal, Michael. You start with 0.1 BTC and you work your way up and you 10x it. 10x is a great goal. Every year, my goal is to always 10x whatever my business goals are. So for example, the channel, we got 60,000 subs. I'm looking to 10x it. In 2024. We're trying to get 600,000 subs. There's an example. Same with Bitcoin. Your goal should be to 10x what you currently have. It's possible. Just keep stacking. What is 10 coiner called? An octopus? Wait, how many arms does an octopus have? Do they have 10? I ain't never selling my Bitcoin because you're smart, dankness, and you get it. As an educator in the field, you understand it. Not everyone gets Bitcoin. The newbie mentality, probably 90% of you, you're going to sell your Bitcoin when you think it hits the top. You're going to buy it back when you think it hits the bottom, and you're going to quadruple your Bitcoin stash. And 99.9% of you, that won't happen. You will get rugged. You'll end up selling at the worst time, and then you'll be on the sidelines hoping to get your stack back, and you'll end up paying more, and you'll have less Bitcoin than you even imagine. And most of your Bitcoin will go to Sailor. It'll go to the sovereign wealth funds and nations around the world. It'll go to BlackRock. It'll go to Fidelity, ARC 21 shares, and JV. Sign ever departing. Remember, it's Friday and everyone is paid today. That's why you're seeing the lower price this morning. Oh, good to note, Keith. Octopus 8. Oh, good to note. 8. So oct, I guess that means 8. Thank you, infinity. Now, octopuses are very interesting creatures. They can squeeze through anything. I've seen some fascinating things on octopuses. Crazy, right? Makes sense? All right. The one thing I finally learned about Bitcoin is the supply is limited. It will run out. That's right. And most people can't contemplate that. They don't understand how limited Bitcoin truly is, considering the 8 billion people on the planet, considering the 50 million millionaires on the planet, all the wealth. You know, they say there's north of 700 trillion, the total addressable market. Do you know how finite and limited the Bitcoin supply is? Do you still understand how early we are? Do you understand there is no better store of value that exists? There is no other form of money with a finite limited supply. Do you understand that? There's no other asset that is unconfiscatable. There is no other asset that is incorruptible. There is nothing you can compare it to. So there is no other option. Where else can you park $500 billion if you were a sovereign wealth fund? You know what I mean? There's gold, there's junk bonds, or Bitcoin. Gold, they find new amounts every year. All they got to do is invest more into digging it up. You know what I mean? And they'll always find more, as they do each and every year. Bitcoin, you'll never find more. In fact, it's going to continue to decrease because people will continue to lose their private keys. People will continue to pass and not, do it properly, to leave it to their heirs. You know what I mean? They say there's 4 or 5 million Bitcoin lost and gone forever. That'll never be recovered. There's 1.1 million just in Satoshi's wallets. These are Bitcoin that are going to be lost and give us all a raise ultimately. So maybe instead of 21 million ever circulating, there's going to be 16 million. Maybe by the time they're all developed in 2140 and the last Bitcoin is mine, maybe we're down to 10 million and only the smart people who are smart enough to hold it are going to have any. You know what I mean? It's going to make it that much more valuable. I just got a crab, for real. Thankfully, I am that. All these norms got nothing. Right? Since Bitcoin, oh, you're referring to your position as far as in the ocean with how much Bitcoin you got. I thought you had a pet crab for a minute. I'm like, for real? Since Bitcoin is limited, should we just hold it forever and make some profit out of it? I think you hold it because you're going to want to hold the underlying asset just as everyone else does. Eventually, you'll be able to borrow against it. In fact, you can already borrow against your Bitcoin using the centralized protocols, but soon you're going to be able to use any major bank to borrow against your Bitcoin. Guaranteed, it's coming. Lots of Bitcoin wallets in the ocean. You can say that again. Blessings on blessings on blessings. I am a millionaire in Satoshis. God bless you, Barry BTC. Everyone here should be a Satoshi millionaire. Everyone. Because it doesn't cost a lot. Maybe a couple $100. I don't know the math. Someone break that down. How much money in US dollars at today's Bitcoin price does it cost you to become a Satoshi millionaire? And I encourage everyone watching this, whether you're live or watching the replay later, go ahead and become a Satoshi millionaire. Number one, for bragging reasons, just to say, brag to yourself, hey, I'm a Satoshi millionaire. So when you look in the mirror every day, hey, this is what it looks like to be a Satoshi millionaire. You know what I mean? I think you'll get good vibes with that. When rates go down, the prices go up. Always, because they want to make it as difficult as possible to buy Bitcoin with their fiat Ponzi scheme. 100%. Every time the rates go down, the prices go up. Always. You think the rates are going to go low when the Bitcoin price was like 17,000? Oh, hell no. They had rates all-time highs. You know what I mean? For this cycle. Crazy how that works. They don't want you using their fiat Ponzi trash currency to purchase Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So typically, when we hit all-time highs, the rates may go back down, which would make sense now. So you missed your opportunity to buy sub 20,000. You had the opportunity, but no one was taking advantage of it. You know what I mean? It's crazy how that is. Then Bitcoin starts surging, hits new 20-month highs. Now everyone's talking about it. Everyone wants to buy it. The truth is, the more valuable Bitcoin becomes, the more people are going to be FOMOing into buying it, regardless of the price. The same people who are on the sidelines, sub 20, will come around at 100,000. Maybe Peter Schiff will finally capitulate, for Christ's sake. Who knows? There you go. Thank you, Neo. So it only costs $2,380 at today's price to become a Satoshi millionaire. I think that should be a goal everyone could accomplish here. All of you can do that, right? Especially before the halving. Gives you another 4 months, roughly, to become a Satoshi millionaire. And if you already achieved that goal, become a multi-Satoshi millionaire. Why not? And eventually you'll become a Satoshi billionaire. Thank you, Will Stop Sun versus Guru. I appreciate the super family. Much respect. What gets me is the 0.28 Bitcoin. Fiat all millionaires can't get their 0.1 BTC. Exactly. $430 says Dankness. So we got a little differentiated math. Dankness says it's Crispy says it's 2,300. So everyone has different numbers here. So here's how you break down the math. What do? You just go to the Satoshi calculator on Google, right? And you put in 100,000, or I'm sorry, 1 million Satoshis, and then it will tell you the dollar amount. We don't have to overcomplicate it. That's roughly my tax refund most years. Woohoo! Oh, really, Project? JV, I appreciate your love for waiting or wanting us all to be successful. You're very welcome, Christy. I mean, that's what it's all about. We have been enslaved for generations, right? Slavery was never abolished. The average working person is a slave. I used to be a slave working for fiat, right? I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Publix. I know what it's like. And I just want people to be able to live the life they deserve and want, right? Which is, for most of you, hopefully, unplugging from the matrix and living a Bitcoin life versus the fiat life, because fiat perpetuates war, violence, and hatred, bloodshed, and all the negative stuff in life. Bitcoin perpetuates peace, love, and freedom. And it's as simple as that. Bitcoin is God hacking humanity. God wants to see you win. The devil don't want to see you win. And I'm almost convinced that the earth is the devil's realm. But now it's an equal playing field because we got Bitcoin. You know what I mean? There's a devil at every level, but Bitcoin will help you get above this fiat level with the devil. Let me know if that makes sense. I write $3,000 a year off from McDonald's, like for real, for real. Please don't be eating $3,000 a year worth of McDonald's. Please please tell me that's a joke. Yeah, McDonald's is the worst food ever. I know, because I used to work there. And the employees have no respect either. They'll spit in your food just because they're bored and they're crackheads. And McDonald's is one of the only establishments that don't require drug tests. Why? If they drug tested all the employees, there'd be no one working for them. So yeah, if you don't want crackheads making your food, don't eat at McDonald's. I know from firsthand experience. I worked there when I was 16. So I know. Soda has, soda's terrible. Even diet soda has aspartame, chemicals. So stay away from soda. Even water's poisoned, unfortunately. They put fluoride in it, which they used to use in the concentration camps back in Nazi Germany to make the people docile, right? It also stagnates your pineal gland, which is your third eye. So you got to be very careful out there. Everything is a deception in this world. For real, for real. Chick-fil-A all the way. Chick-fil-A also has like 50 drugs inserted into the food. You can do your research on that. I know it tastes good. Trust me, it's addictive. I know because I have family members who love it. But at the same time, it's poisonous. So be careful. Most fast food is all poisonous. You got to know that if you don't know that. Respect for JV. You do a workshop every day to help people with good advice, how to stand in life. We learn from you. I appreciate that. Means a lot, Barry. Thank you, family. I would say 90% of all restaurants are unsafe. Facts. You go watch Gordon Ramsay, Kitchen Nightmares. You'll know firsthand how disgusting these restaurants are. Cook your own food. Water softening system, great investment. That's right. Facts. Move the decimal place over twice and you'll get a value of 1 million sats. There you go. Eat real food, nothing else. That's right. There's processed food and there's real food. Unfortunately, probably 90% of your diet is going to be processed food. You need to switch that to where at least 90% of your diet is real food, right? No processed food. Stop eating processed food. It's not real. That's why people get cancers and stuff like this. We need more food cryptos like cake. I spend all day just eating raw veggies and fruits. And for dinner, I make veggie pizza topped with avocado. Man, that sounds great, Neo. Invite me over, fam. I can live off of rice and beans. Beans are the bomb diggity. They got protein in them. Rice doesn't have a lot of nutritional value to it. I guess it depends upon the type of rice. White rice is really not that good for you at all. It's bleached. You know what I mean? I have filtered well water. Don't use any sugar. Good stuff. I drink water, black coffee, and tea, says Jennifer. Good for you. And you raise your own meats. That's how to do it. I'm a vegetarian, but if I was a carnivore, I'd be like Rogan. I'd go hunting. I'd shoot myself a moose or whatever these guys shoot, and then I'd have meat for the year, put it in a freezer. I don't want anything injected with hormones and chemicals, which is all the meat which you'll find at the store. Thanks, JV. Cheers, BTC. But anyways, fam, I know I'm ranting. I got to go. I got to pick up my daughter here shortly. It's TGIF, but we're first going to have an uncensored version of the show over on Rumble. If you don't know, I stream simultaneous on YouTube and Rumble at the same time. The YouTube stream is going to end, but we will continue on Rumble. So head on over to Rumble right now, and we're going to have a JV React session. It's going to be lit. I'm looking forward to it. And remember, tomorrow on YouTube and Rumble, we'll be back at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sat Stack and Saturday. Let's get it. And thank you, family, for your support. All right, YouTube stream.